right, hello. I'm Heather. I'm the creator of Business from Home Mom, and I am here to talk about virtual assisting 101. I'm going to pull this up on my phone as well so I can kind of make sure that it is streaming correctly in the event. So stand by 1 second and let me get that up. It is very nice to see everybody today. I'm really excited. And this is going to be action-packed, information-packed. You're going to feel like you know exactly what's going on with virtual assisting and whether it's right for you at the end of this. Come along, Facebook. I'm going to apologize in advance for any children or loudness in the background. Okay, there I am. Fantastic. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get this started. As I said, I am Heather. I am the creator of Business from Home Mom. I am the mom to 3 girls, 2 teenagers, and a kindergartner. So I have a lot of experience being a mom and working from home. So I am going to go ahead and get my screen shared here, and we are going to get started. Okay, here we go. So, Virtual Assisting 101. I am Heather Kirk. I started virtual assisting about 5 years ago. I'm going to get more into my story later, but as I said, please excuse any children or noises you may hear in the background. I have a very busy house. So, before we get started, I would like to remind everybody to put your phone on vibrate, silent, whatever you need to do. So if you're watching this on your mobile device, it doesn't get interrupted, and so that you can really concentrate on what I'm saying. Because I will keep this live up for a couple of days, but then I'm going to take it down. And I would really love for you to all be able to keep your information. So let's get started. So maybe you know you want to work from home, but you have no idea where to get started, how to start, what business would be profitable, and you may have heard of virtual assisting. Virtual assisting is one of the hottest side hustles, especially now that the entire world has gone virtual. Nobody was expecting that literally businesses would have to close their doors and find a way to work from home. And as a virtual assistant, the pandemic really didn't affect my business as much as it could have, because I'm already virtual. I already have systems and processes in place to help businesses that need to be working virtually. Virtual assisting really does allow you to make your own hours and your own wages. And with virtual assisting, you can have solved so many of your financial, emotional, all types of burdens. So, how do you get started? What do you need to know? Sounds great, right, Heather? Like, but what do I need to know? How do I even start this? So today, you are going to leave here knowing what a virtual assistant is and does, what you need to know prior to becoming a virtual assistant, how virtual assistants find clients, and you are also going to know the types and systems, processes the virtual assistants use. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about where you can go to learn more. Kevin O'Leary of the Shark Tank. I don't know if everybody is familiar with him, but he recently stated that in 2020, if he had to start all over again, virtual assisting would be the side hustle he would pick. Why is that? As I stated already, you can get into virtual assisting in very little time. You can start working and making money virtually. So I wouldn't be where I am today without starting the virtual assisting career that I did. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey because I feel like that's very important for you to understand that I did not come into this with a business degree. I did not start with some sort of business plan. I was a single mom. I had 3 children. My youngest had just been born. I had literally $97 in my bank account and no idea how I was going to dig myself out of the hole I was in. And it was a very difficult time, but I also knew that I did not want to go back to working in a corporate job if at all possible. I wanted to be home with my children. So this is my story very quickly. And I do want you to remember that it is my story, my journey. I don't want you to use it exactly as a blueprint because your journey and your situation could be completely different than mine. I want you to have confidence in yourself that even though your situation might be different, it is still totally valid and you can still totally do this. So when I was at the point where I was looking at how I could work from home, there were, of course, the network marketing opportunities. There were MLMs I could have joined there, but the situation I was in, I had no money to put into them, and I never felt like I was very good at sales. So I did not want to go that route. It wasn't right for me. At the time, I was desperate. I always looked up to moms who had it all in, who seemed to always have it all together. Sorry, guys. When I was a kid, I dreamed of like working for myself and traveling. And prior to having my youngest, I was working like 16-hour days. I wasn't comfortable in the job I was in. I was like sleep deprived. I just wasn't very present. I was miserable. I felt like I was failing as a mom. I didn't have the life I wanted. And I was, most importantly, living like less than paycheck to paycheck. There was just not enough money to go around. So at the most desperate point of my life, I decided I was going to start Googling work from home jobs. And I'm sure if you have ever Googled work from home jobs, you found tons of scams, you found lots of promises to make big money quickly, you found, not, or the opposite, you were overloaded with information about virtual careers and it just looked really scary and not something you were sure you could do. I pretty much started watching YouTube videos, and this was 5 years ago. YouTube wasn't exactly as big as it is now, but there were videos out there. There were some blog posts out there. It wasn't a very big thing. I had always kind of done freelance projects on the side to make some extra money, but I never really considered it as my full-time career. So the steps I took to kind of get where I needed to go were to find the information, the resources, and get started. Now, let's talk about what is virtual assisting. So virtual assisting is, basically you're working virtually, which means you work from a location that is not in an office, or maybe not even in the same city, maybe not even in the same country as your clients. You can work long-term or short-term. You can work like for more technical clients or less technical clients. It might be a low wage or high wage project, and you can work any hour of the day. The most important thing to remember about virtual assisting is that you are no longer an employee. You are working for yourself and you are your own business person, okay? So I always had trouble describing what virtual assisting really is. I mean, you just work virtually for people, right? But there are various careers or various projects, various niches that you can get into. So there's virtual there's virtual office administration. You can work social media for clients. You can make appointments. You can be a virtual email manager, customer service from home. All of those are really good starting virtual assisting type niches to get into. So just about any type of traditional employment can be taken virtual. And I mean, obviously things like firefighters can't be exactly virtual, but when we're talking any kind of marketing, administration, office admin, those can all be taken virtual. The industry is so wide open right now because of all of these businesses who have had to find new ways to do business away from their home location. It is so crucial right now to get your foot in the door for these virtual vocations. I do not see them ever going away. The industry is only going to get bigger. So prior to starting as any type of virtual assistant, you need to know that you do not need a degree in anything. You don't need to be a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. You don't have to have any virtual assistant certificate. I have seen people that sell those, and they have very, and they have a lot of information and you learn a lot, but you do not need that to get started. You do need to have knowledge of the services you're trying to sell. So if you think that social media management might be a great thing for you to get into as a virtual assistant, you need to know a little bit about social media before you start selling that service. If you want to be a virtual office admin, then you need to know a little bit about how offices generally run. You do need to have some computer know-how. So the most important thing is you need to know how to do to get into email and to reply to email, and how to do things like schedule emails to go out. You need to have the ability to communicate clearly, even if English is not your first language. Communicating clearly is very important. So whatever language you might speak, as long as you can communicate clearly in that language, you are going to do very well in virtual assisting. You need to have at least 5 hours per week that you can devote to virtual assisting. And that is as you are getting started and after you start. You need to have that time, even if you're not taking any clients immediately. You need to have that 5 hours where you can send things like proposals and you can do some self-education. And I feel like this is the most important thing that you need to have before you start as a virtual assistant. You need to have the ability to learn and adapt. Every single skill that a virtual assistant has is either learned from real life experience, or taught through watching tutorials, and you need to be able to adapt to client needs. And that means you need to be flexible. You need to be able to, communicate clearly what your boundaries are, but you also need to understand that clients have needs too, and you need to figure out where your line is. So as long as you have the ability to learn and adapt, you will do incredibly well as a virtual assistant. So the biggest roadblock that new virtual assistants or people who are considering virtual assisting, the biggest roadblock I hear them saying is, but where do I find clients? Is the market saturated? How do I find people to work with? So there are many places, and Facebook is a top one because clients can advertise for free on Facebook in mom groups, in writing groups, in business owner groups. You will find a lot of clients on Facebook. Upwork is a third-party project board that it's not free, but you can get on there and pay a small amount of money to bid on projects. I do have a big thing about Upwork, but that's going to be in my group. Upwork is, I started on Upwork, and it is a good place to get your foot in the door and to get some experience. If nothing else, Upwork will have some type of projects that you can take on no matter your skill level. LinkedIn is another big one that's coming up in the industry lately, especially if you are, let's say you've had like 20 years as an executive assistant and you're going virtual now, then LinkedIn is a great place for you to make contacts with people who are looking for your type of skills. HireMyMom.com, and there are some other third-party sites like that that post freelance opportunities all the time, and they are, I think there's a monthly fee for them, but they do have mostly vetted clients and projects, so you know when you're applying to something it's not a scam. Upwork generally does the same thing, but sometimes people get through there. But most of the third-party sites that you're paying a fee to are going to be the ones that are actively vetting all of these clients to make sure that they are, legit and you're going to get paid and all of that. And then referrals. Referrals are, I would say, at least a quarter of my business, and I do get a lot from referrals. I do a small project for one client, and they have somebody that they know that needs somebody to do an email marketing campaign for them, and they send them my way, and then so referrals and word of mouth is about a quarter of my business anymore. So that's a great thing. Okay, so here's where some people fall into the mire. In order to get and keep clients, you have to be continually sending pitches and proposals. And that's important because even if you are completely booked out, let's say you have 10 hours a week where you can work and you have that 10 hours filled up right now, it is incredibly important that you are prepared for those 10 hours with that client to go away. So you can continually send little notes like, hey, I'm a virtual assistant now, or I'm virtual assisting, here's my specialties, and if you know of anybody, please feel free to drop my name. Or if you see a client that you really think you would love to work with, sending them a quick proposal and saying, hey, I'll be available starting October 15th if you'd like to pursue this further. You should not be afraid of spreading the word that you are a virtual assistant. And because let's say you share it on your Facebook page, Facebook profile, that you are getting into virtual assisting, and you're really excited, and here are some of the services you're going to be offering. You might not have anybody in your direct friends list that needs you, but somebody in your friends list might know somebody else who needs your skills. So it's very important that you don't discourage yourself from sharing that occasionally on your personal page. So another roadblock that I see a lot of people asking about is, what kind of tech does a virtual assistant use? And my answer is always, well, everything. I mean, there are task management tools and apps such as like Asana and Trello. And there are email. Email is a big one, right? We need to be able to communicate. A time tracker, invoicing and bank account, and that could be a PayPal account even. That's fine. And a conferencing app or telephone. So those are the big 5 that you're going to use just about daily. And the importance of having them is that, task management, especially with if you have multiple clients, you want to make sure that you're meeting all of your clients' needs. So the blog post that might be due in 2 weeks, you want to make sure that whoever's writing that, if you're trying to manage that for your client, is getting it to be proofread on time and that type of thing. And you might have another client that needs like 10 social media posts a week, and you want to make sure those are going smoothly as well. And you want to be able to see things as clearly as possible for whether you have one client or you have several clients. You're going to need email. You are definitely going to need email, whether it is a Gmail address, whether it is Yahoo, AOL. I don't even know if that exists anymore. I'm sure it does, but AOL. You need that email address. Some clients you might take are from another country, and so you want to make sure that there's a way that you can communicate, when they're awake and you're sleeping, right? A time tracker. There are several options out there. There are free ones, there are ones that cost money, there are ones inside of other CRM tools. There are endless options, but you want a way to track your time. So number one, how long projects are taking, because you might need to go back and readjust your fee structure if projects are taking you longer than the amount of money you're charging. So you always want to be tracking your time, even if your clients are paying you a flat fee. You want to make sure that you know how much time it's actually taking you. And if you are an hourly virtual assistant, especially, you're going to want to make sure that you're tracking every second. Toggle is real good, TOGGL. I personally use Dubsado, and I have a time tracker in Dubsado, and then it automatically goes to invoice. For invoicing and bank account, if let's say you just have PayPal or Stripe, they've got invoicing inside of them. So you can send a request for payment via Stripe or PayPal and have that invoice in there. A conferencing app like Zoom, that's what I'm using today. Zoom or Google Hangouts. I feel like it's getting better now that so many schools are using it. It wasn't super reliable for a lot of years, but now I feel like it's getting there. Or if you have no computer when you're starting, at least a telephone, so that you can reach out to clients and you can send texts and you can, be on top of your clients' business needs. So learning is very important in the virtual assisting industry. You want to be able to continually educate yourself so that you're in the know with like current apps, and tools that your client might be using. Now, this does not mean you have to spend hours and hours every week on education. Sometimes I will see an article come across my newsfeed about some new app, like let's say Trello has a big update. Well, Trello has the option for a free account. So you can just hop onto Trello, set up a free account, and poke around. You know, you don't have to watch hours and hours of tutorials. You can get, most of these apps and tools have some sort of free level where you don't have to pay anything, or like a free trial, as long as you remember to cancel it after your 7 days. If you see something that looks cool, it's a good idea to learn about it. So you can just create a free account, hop on there, mess around for a little bit, and see what it can do, and then go from there. There's nothing wrong when you're talking to a client or when you're asking questions in something like this or anytime. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm not familiar with that app or tool. I'm a very quick learner, so I'm sure I will be able to catch on quickly. I'm just wanted to let you know that I'm not super familiar with it at this time. It's not one that one of my previous clients have asked me to use. So, and that's okay. Clients respect that when you say, hey, I don't know this. I'm not super confident with it yet, but I can learn it. You know, I've never had a client say, no, that's not good enough. Never. They always appreciate that you are willing to learn and adapt to them. So everything is learnable. I promise that even if you feel like you are not super technical or you are not super, you know, task oriented, or you need pictures instead of lists, everything is learnable. And whether you have to learn it your way or another way, you know, everything is learnable. There are tutorial videos out there for all of the apps and tools and task management and email management softwares, and every Asana, Trello, Dubsado, they all have tutorials in there. They do webinars all of the time. So it can really, if you really feel lost, you can hop onto one of those and be a pro in no time. Everything is learnable. Don't forget that. So that was just a little bite of virtual assisting to help you understand what it is so that you can pursue it further if you think it's something for you. So I created the VA Blueprint because I see a lot of virtual assistants with the types of questions that we just talked about. And I see a lot of them needing to know how to get from point A to point B to point C. They can read the list of everything you need to know, kind of like I just gave, but how do you get there? How do you figure out your services, and how do you figure out your pricing? And you know, the VA Blueprint is going to be your blueprint to becoming an in-demand, money-making, rockin' virtual assistant. Why do I say rockin'? Because my business is Rockin' Mama Virtual Assisting, and I like that. So the VA Blueprint is going to have you completely prepared to take on clients once you are finished. You are going to be totally confident and be prepared with all of your back office documents, including proposals and contracts. You will be ready to take it to the next level after the VA Blueprint. And unlike the other VA courses that I've seen, now I'm not saying all of them, don't quote me, I've seen several that, you know, kind of tell you the steps, but don't tell you the how to get there and walk you through each step. The VA Blueprint does that in minute detail on how to get, how to determine your services and how to build your packages, and you know, how to reach out to clients, how often, you know, all of that stuff that you need is going to be in there. Now, with the VA Blueprint, it is priced right now at $197. $197. So the learning tool I created is completely fillable. So it's a PDF that you can fill out. You will be prepared to work as a virtual assistant when you finish with the learning tool. You can print it out, or you can fill it out online or on your phone, which I really liked that little. You will have a complete cohesive blueprint for your business. In the blueprint, you will be determining your skill set, which is what you need to sell. You will be building a profile. You'll be completing a client avatar, so you know where to find clients. You'll be creating proposals and contracts, and you will have everything set up all nice and neat. So when that first client asks for a proposal, here you go. Okay. You're going to understand the why behind each step. So why do I need a client avatar? Why do I need to know what my skill set is before I start telling people I'm a virtual assistant? Why do I need to have all of that laid out and ready? I also have templates that are valued at $210, which was basically my hours of creating them. So you will have access to templates for a proposal, contract, and profile. More are added just about every other week. So, and you have access to those forever. So once you buy the blueprint, it's yours forever, and anything I add to the blueprint is also yours. There's no extra fees for that. There's no extra pay. Once you are in, you are there forever and ever. Whatever updates happen, whatever big news happens, it's yours forever. I do add templates fairly often, cool new ways to phrase proposals, or language that needs to be in a contract, especially as things have changed worldwide. We want to add some certain language about apparently what happens when there's a pandemic. So those are, you can literally copy the templates and add your own information and send them off to clients. And I am also offering for a limited time, if you buy the blueprint now, you'll have 3 months of feedback on proposals. So if you find something you would like to write a proposal for, you write the proposal, you send it to me, I proofread it, I tell you, how it looks, I tell you what you may need to add, and I'll give you that feedback for free within 24 hours, okay? And then we also have the VA training, 3 months free in there. So if you're not familiar with me, I'm not super creative when it comes to naming things. My free group is Business from Home Mom Group. And then we have VA training, which is going to have overviews of apps, so you can kind of see me poking around in them, and you don't even have to bother setting up an account. And it's also going to have reviews on those apps and tools from a virtual assistant perspective. There are going to be, there are right now 2 different things about how to prepare for like discovery calls, how to edit contracts, how to change rates of like if you're in a contract with a client and you want to change a rate, I've got all of those kind of knowledge-based articles and videos in the VA training. You get that 3 months for free when you buy the blueprint. And then after that, it's $27 a month. It's not a super expensive thing, and you can cancel at any time. So you can also, as part, after your 3 months of me reviewing proposals, if you are in the VA training course and you continue on after your 3 free months as well, if you're in that particular course, then I will continue to do review of proposals and questions as well. The cool thing about this is if you guys send me a question about what you want to see a video made on or educated on or whatever, I will make the video and drop it in there. So that is a fun little perk. So I walk you through the entire blueprint. My happy face is going to be walking you through every step of the blueprint, and it's kind of a deeper explanation of each section of the blueprint. You'll have a greater understanding behind each step. Some people are visual, some people are auditory. I think that's the word. And so the video companion, you will also have lifetime access to, lifetime alerts of updates, and you can watch it on your desktop or your mobile. So if you've got a long car ride, you can go ahead and just sit there and get ready for your day listening to the blueprint. Okay. If all this did was find you your first client, you would get the blueprint, the payment $197, right? You would earn that back within your first week of virtual assisting. So it is a very small investment to make, and I made sure and priced it so that it would be basically what I had in my checking account when I was desperate for work, because I feel like everybody should have access to it, and that's, you know, this is my calling in life, and that's why I want you to be able to enjoy it. I want to see you, I want to see all of you beautiful virtual assistants doing things the right way, making money, and inspiring other people and generations, okay? So you can get it at businessfromhomemom.com/VA blueprint. We are going to put the link in the comments, and then also the free group I was talking about is Business from Home Mom group on Facebook. We're going to put the link to that in there as well. I'm going to look around and see if I've got any questions. I'll stop sharing my screen and then see if I have any questions. And okay, no open questions. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm going to check a couple other places because I don't want to hop off of here if anybody needs me to answer more. If you are watching this as a replay, just put in the comments #replay and put your question down there, and I will be more than glad to answer that. I also have a special freebie for anybody who does watch this. Put your email address in the comments. I'll add you to my list and send you 200 ways to make money during nap time. And it has an entire list of virtual jobs and tasks and projects that you can do from home. And I feel like it kind of helps people start thinking outside of the box and thinking about what kind of skill set they actually have. So let me continue checking. Misty, I don't know if you're on. I know Misty's on here. Misty is helping moderate things for me. And there we go. I don't see any questions, right? Perfect. Okay. As I said, hey, thank you so much for joining me. I am so glad that there's such an interest in virtual assisting. It is a great industry to be a part of. And then, thanks, Misty. And then I really can't wait to hear more from all of you, and have a fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Chat soon. Bye-bye.